Hello, hello.
What's up?
Welcome everyone to Thursday evening. How goes?
I'm fantastic because I got Bon Jovi. I'm so happy because I'm just like, you know those food dances you have when you have food is really good, and this is great. I'm just like,
Yep. I do that a lot because food is great.
So I have a bone to pick real quick. Russ, the musk, my dear.
Yeah.
I love
Can we
that.
get into this? Can we talk
Yeah,
about
we got some heaters up in the
wonderful
chat today.
husband. Look, okay, Russ, I have to explain. I know that MPSP Theater, when they're late to get on, which is every fucking show, they're sitting down there talking about how big their ass is, how many holes and stains they have in their underwear, and they're having dick measuring contests. At least when we're late, we're actually talking business, okay? So if you want to sit there and talk shit, baby, you can sleep on the couch.
Oh,
All right. So
that being said,
good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
So we'll do a round table for everyone, see what's new. I'm going to get us started for the podcast. We finally have an actual URL that has a customized title. Yay! We hit 100 subscribers. So we are now youtube.com/c/Total Package Podcast.
That's
so
fantastic.
this is easier for
Really
links and things
That's
of that nature.
We're legit.
Russ.
Yeah, I know.
Let it go, buddy. Russ, let it go. Let it fucking go. Dude.
Yeah, we've already moved on.
As
We don't have
Anna
your
says
news
in
about us.
Frozen, just let it go.
Okay, let's go around the table. Anna, what's going on with you?
Besides the fact that I'm probably not going to have a day off from work for the next 6 months, nothing much.
Oh, girl, damn.
Welcome to promotion.
That's what it's like.
But I gotta tell you though, I've got a great group of guys that we had issues, and they're all stepping up like a champ. So I'm loving it.
Good.
But yeah, other than work and coming home, that's about it. Oh, and we got a kitten. I know I had him on last night. I know I had him on last week, but yeah, we got a kitten, and he's a little shit. So yeah, I love him to death. But and his name is Twix.
Twixie.
Left or right?
Yeah.
But is he a left Twix or is he a right Twix?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
Oh,
wanna
he is
know.
a left Twix. There are no right Twixes in this house. They are all left. Okay.
There you go.
That's
How about
silly.
you, Jan? What's new with you?
Marissa's turning 16 this weekend.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Is that driver's license or is that 15? I can never remember, so long ago.
What'd you say?
16, is that when you can get your driver's license?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get your permit.
I don't know if it's the same in every state, but for Maryland, it's 15 and 9 months. You can
Okay.
start.
To get your permit and then
Yeah. Ours is screwed up. It's like you have to get a permit, then a provisional, then you can get your full license. I should know because I haven't gotten my license yet. So anyway, go ahead.
In Cali, I think it's permit 15, but driver's license can be 16.
Yeah,
it's like 16 in
Okay.
like 3 months or something like that in most states.
It's something kind of bizarre, but yeah, she's gonna study up and take her permit test here in the next couple of months.
Cool.
Yeah, how about that?
She's growing.
Are you ready for the stress? Are you prepared to teach driving?
I'm not really that worried about it. Like, it doesn't stress me out. I've taught a few other people how to drive, so it's just like open parking lot and just discussing controls and making sure they understand that and doing that kind of thing. I think I'm more hesitant about teaching Elijah how to drive because he's a little more nervous about it than she is, but he takes it differently. Like he processes it a little different than she does. And she's actually driven a few vehicles before and he never has.
Oh.
So yeah, like farm trucks and dirt roads and stuff like that. So she's already had that experience, and so it's a little different. And he's really like Elijah's really paranoid about wrecking my car. Like he doesn't want to, so he's super nervous about that.
I get that.
Whereas she's like,
that sounds like Rhea.
She's like, I want to do it. Yeah. You know, so
yeah.
a little,
that's how RJ was. RJ was like that. He was like, no, I'm gonna drive. We were like, okay. But Rhea, it's like we have to set an appointment with her and kind of talk her into getting in the car and driving. And it's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
How different they can be, as far as driving goes. I thought everybody would just want to drive,
I don't think everybody does. And especially considering the
Not
fact
here.
that
not in Maryland, no.
Not in PA either. But it's I think it affected him because he was around 16. He was like 15. He was close to 16 when I got hit by the cars, and that affected him differently. Like, look at the damage vehicles can do. Look what happened to my mom. I'm fucking scared to do this now.
Okay.
So it's almost like a PTSD thing with him, where she's like, I'll run motherfuckers off the road. Not.
Sounds like my husband.
He'd work well in Northern Virginia.
And Maryland. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, Maryland. I'm sorry, you guys are just dumbasses.
I don't know. It's a mix. It's like one of those things where it's like ex-drivers are idiots, but then on the other side they say the same exact thing. But
I'm sorry. When you're on a road on an interstate and you're going around a turn, an easy turn, everyone slams on their damn brakes in Maryland. I'm like, what the hell?
Or passing on the right instead of the left.
It's just a curve.
Yeah. Why do Maryland drivers do that? Like, what is the deal?
I don't know.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
I don't know either. And neither do my parents. They grew up on the West Coast, so of course they're still confused out of their minds. So
I brought this up last night on the Shelf Gravy show. Like, I know because I've asked this before. Are laws different per state as far as like where to pass, how to pass, which lane to pass?
No, they're not.
No. They're not.
They're just idiots. They're absolute idiots. I don't understand it. It doesn't make me want to drive because I'm just like, do I want to deal with this on a daily basis? Probably not. Will I have to? Yes. So. Yeah.
It's tough. It is. And that's the other thing. Elijah has experienced a lot of road rage with me. Like I'm a road rage, like I'm a straight asshole.
Yeah.
Like it's like you put me in a driver's seat. And I'm a totally different person. I'm like, I'm this person right here, right now. And then I get behind the driver's seat. I'm like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my way. Like, I'm flipping, man. Like, my face is red. I'm looking all over the place. I'm a psycho, man. Like, I think my gender changes and everything. I'm just a whole nother.
Yeah, there was that one time you apologized. Jason and I were the
same.
Yeah.
So Russ has never driven in the car with my dad until this last trip to West Virginia. And we're in the car and we're driving around and my dad is straight up, there is no 5 and 60 there. And he's like freaking out on people. And Russ goes, holy shit, that's where you get it from. Oh my God. Yeah. So Yep.
So
I completely understand, Chan.
Yeah. So the driving thing is now up on the thing. What's new with me is Marissa's getting older, and I had a friend say, "Oh my God, don't you feel old? Your baby is turning 16." I'm like, no. I am old. I don't feel old. I'm already like, it doesn't matter if I have a kid turning whatever age. This is how old I am. It's not gonna like, it doesn't change. This is it. I am 42. Her being 16 does not change how I feel.
No.
Anyway, that's how I am. That's what's new with me.
Doing round robin. So it's me next.
Yes.
Well, all I've been doing for the past few weeks is working on commissions and then Inktober. And Inktober is for the whole month of October, you make a design each day based on a prompt. And it's been going pretty well so far, but I'm trying to record them too. I tried to do at least 2 yesterday. The first one was really successful. I did like the Gundam death site, and that was super fantastic, but I didn't pay attention to my time, and it was just like, oh, it's been like 3 hours, crap. So I'm gonna have to on Saturday record the last 2 days and then get myself caught up. So it's gonna be a busy day. And then it's either that or I'm working on the scarf commissions, and then beyond that, I also made like new designs for Redbubble. I did these cutesy little animal masks, like face mask designs. So I have like a little.
Oh, cool.
I made a dog. I made a rabbit. I made a bird, and I made a snake. There you go. So cute little designs. They're also on like other products if you don't want to put them on a face mask, or I don't know, but they're meant for it. So I should have done it earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
I had an entire restaurant of like people working behind the line at a like buffet, like a restaurant type place. I was going through the line getting some lovely fried rice and things like that. And everyone on the other side wanted to know, I had one of your masks on that day. And it was is it a llama? It's the llama, right?
Yeah, the brown one.
With the little brown nose and like the little chin hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that one on and they were going nuts over it. By the time I made it to the checkout, they were like, "Where did you get this? Write this down." And she like tore off a receipt thing and handed me a pen.
Fantastic.
And they all were like, "We're all going to order these masks. These masks are so cute. This is so great." And I'm like, "Yeah, my girl did that. My girl did that."
I'll let you guys know. Redbubble's also coming out with fitted masks. I don't know when, but basically they have like those little like nose crimps, and then they also have adjustable straps. So I don't know when they're popping out, but I was able to design for them. So like, I am so excited. Please, yes, I will order one for myself. Yeah,
that's cool.
So,
yeah.
So besides that,
hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I show you guys something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn the camera. Yes. Hold on, ready?
What's in the big box?
Is that BTS? Oh, I think
Someone get caught with a big package.
Yeah.
Some hot bearded man just walked in my door with a giant package.
Sorry, ladies, I couldn't get my broom to start.
That's okay. We forgive you.
I love it. But yeah, with what's going on with me, the last thing I'd say today, I did gardening and I just planted my garlic. So I'm excited for that. I have broccoli and garlic and
awesome
peas and carrots. And yeah, I'm gonna try and greens. So there you go. So
you do that in the autumn?
Yeah, so you do have your warmer weather vegetables or fruit, and your colder winter vegetables. So like it's surprising because apparently certain vegetables like broccoli and lettuce and spinach, they can survive in freezing temperatures, like 20 degrees Fahrenheit. They can actually survive like with frost. And I'm just like, okay, sure. Like these are my favorite veggies anyway, so I will grow them.
Well, I had some garlic that I couldn't get to grow. Maybe that's because I had to too early in the year.
I tried growing it twice, and apparently what you need to do is that you need to plant it in late fall, and it needs to basically gestate under the soil and grow under the soil until spring. So you harvest in spring. So yeah, I was confused too because like the last 2 seasons I tried to grow garlic and it always died on me. I'm like, what happened? What did I do? What did I do was wrong? So more so ended up like onion than garlic. So I'm like, all right, and I actually like looked up tutorials and so I'm gonna try it for the 3rd time this time and see how it goes.
Oh, it looks like Chan got something.
Chan got
from the handsome bearded man.
Oh, that's it. We just got R-rated.
You got
that is awesome.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's wicked. I like that.
That is amazing.
Where did you get that
see
from?
this is so fucking cool. He got it from BBTS. He was like, I got a surprise for you. He's like, do you want to wait? I was like, no, who wants to wait for a surprise? Dude, that is badass.
That is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love Animal. He's like the best. He's so cool.
Animal!
Yeah. Shit. And Dr. T, no shit.
That was supposed to show up for Christmas.
Oh, it's Krillin.
What?
That's awesome. Holy shit! Is this?
I gotta post those later in the realm.
Is this what was supposed to come from Megalopolis and never did? Bitches, BBTS is better. That's fucking badass. He's cool too. Look at his little faces. Do you see him? Like, look at
That is so cool.
That's totally cool.
That is so cool.
I love Krillin. Dragon Ball.
Yeah. So,
anyway,
Bethany,
sorry. Go on. Go.
Not much. Just finished the majority of the outside Halloween decorations. We just have to do the tombstones. We'll probably do that on Saturday, on actual Halloween, just so then they're not out like with weather.
Yeah,
because they're just foam, and I really don't want them to get destroyed. And just prepare.
And it's gonna rain this weekend.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put them out. I always just wait to put them out on Halloween day. Just getting ready to go back to work. I start back face to face on the 27th. So
nice.
Coming up soon. We'll see how that goes.
Wow.
And then today I was just made chili for this weekend. Hopefully it tastes good.
Yay.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be amazing.
Yes, and Ken got introduced to crockpot liners.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I had no idea. Jason sent me a picture. Jason sent me a picture. I legit thought it was like cellophane. I'm like, why is there cellophane on the? And he was like, no, it's a liner bag. And I was like, what is
they
that?
have them for roasters too, like turkey roasters.
I just put my turkey in a bag.
I found those, and I was like, yep. Using these for the crock pot because it'll make cleanup so much easier.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Done.
I'm gonna get some of those. I'm gonna use my crock pot more often because that's why I don't.
Oh, yeah, because it's a bitch to clean, but those make it easier.
Vinny,
he doesn't know.
Do not diss the crock pot like you diss the air fryer. Do not go there right now.
Wait, he does the air fryer?
Don't get him started, man. He is not an air fryer. I'm sorry, the Instapot. He is not an Instapot.
I love my Instapot. I've used it all day today. I was steaming a whole pumpkin today in chunks, and it would take a half hour. I chunk it up, and then I have pumpkin puree enough for the whole year. And I'm a basic bitch because I'm making pumpkin spice homemade creamer.
Nice.
Crap, no. Can you mail me some?
I can tell you the recipe.
Oh, please, yes.
I even made my own sweetened condensed milk today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not easy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Or rather, it's easy, but it's just time consuming. Oh my god! Wow. Respect.
It took like 20 minutes.
Respect. Just for the milk, though. 20 minutes. Don't you have to stir it constantly too? Mm-hmm. Oh my god! No, I don't know if I have the patience for.
So, what have you been up to, Casper?
Oh well, let's see.
Besides making, pumpkin spice creamer.
I was making gluten-free Texas Roadhouse rolls today.
Ooh,
sweet.
And the butter.
Oh, that butter.
And I'm making. I'm working on a cake, chocolate cake with peanut butter icing.
Hey, baby.
Hey,
and I went and got some decorations that are going to be absolutely cool for this cake.
No shit.
Oh man, the fat girl in me is exciting.
Yeah, just a hint. It involves a baby doll head and lights.
Yes.
For a cake.
Oh, it's badass.
I can't wait.
A baby doll head and lights.
You gotta take a picture when this thing is done because I am so confused.
Cool.
Oh my god.
So I've been baking just absolutely so much today.
The fat girl in me is so excited for this weekend.
Right?
I am the fat girl.
I gotta
quit
figure
it.
out something
You're
else to
not.
make too, just besides the cake, because that's a given, you know. So, but I've been interviewing for jobs, and what was it? Tuesday I had 6 interviews, and Wednesday I had 4 re-interviews. Today I had 2 re-interviews, and I have some in-person shadowing experiences and stuff like that. So
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Go, girl.
I did accept one position, but I kind of accepted it with the knowledge that I might have to back out of it because I just wanted to make sure I had something. It doesn't start till November 2nd, so.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm doing some interviewing and, you know, trying to get what I want. There's one that I really like that I kind of hope they offer me the job because I think I'd be really good at it.
Cool. Good. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah. So
something that you're gonna feel good doing. Something you know you can do well too.
Yeah, and that's where my last job was, and I didn't feel comfortable with it. It didn't feel right. So anyway,
there you go.
But that's what I've been up to. That and pouring concrete, which is basically like baking.
Yeah, it kind of is. You're right. What about you, Grims? What's new with you?
Just life. Still doing my walks.
Life?
Life. Still doing my walks. Not anything super crazy. Not that anyone cares in this chat, but the pin world has been up in arms because the WB or Warner Brothers has been putting out cease and desist to Harry Potter pin makers.
What?
So there's been a lot of commotion around that. So a lot of accounts that I follow have put themselves on private. Some have had to stop selling the pins altogether.
Wow.
And so there's a whole lot of like craziness in the community, and some of them are just scared. They're kind of all rebranding their names of their characters and stuff like that, so that any of your other things don't get followed through, because the company of course owns other stuff. So if they come through with it,
to be honest, I've been through those myself with what we do. They'll go through time periods where they'll do that. They'll hit certain things hard and then they'll back off.
Yeah. So it seems to be something that's going around. So some are being proactive and trying to hide the names. So they're all like fancy name type stuff and whatnot from it. Exactly. That kind of type of thing. But just I've been finding all of them in that sense, which it kind of sucks because a lot of them say, they don't want you to promote their stuff so much, because if you use the hashtags like Harry Potter or whatever other item it is, then that just makes it so it's easier to find. So it kind of sucks for like me, where I show and try to support and have the open thing. It's like you're almost doing damage to them in a sense. But outside of that, it is what it is.
Yeah, I have to worry about that all the time. I actually had some of my works pulled down because of it. I'm just like, oh, great. Mm-hmm. And then I learned that, so here's like the weirdest thing I learned, that I had a little Steven Universe design on my Redbubble shop, and it was taken down by Cartoon Network. It infringes on the IP. I'm like, all right, that's fine. This is fan art. Mm-hmm. But then they now have this partnership program, and Steven Universe is one of the brands. So I'm just like, I want to be better. But this could just also be a new thing, so
to work with it and whatnot. Yeah, I kind of think the Harry Potter one, although they've always sold pins at the website, at the theme park. Can't think of the freaking word. Things of that nature. But they're starting up a whole like a monthly pin type thing. I think is what they're trying to do and whatnot. And so I think it's kind of like they're getting more focused on it. But it's not to say that it hasn't happened with other brands and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But that's all that's been new outside of that work life.
I can tell you, with being in the same field with that type of thing. I know Aspero's been after us occasionally. And in fact, we had the one product designer come over. We were actually right across the street from the Hasbro Center, and he came over and he was harassing us and
oh my God,
all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you shut down. I'm gonna do this.
And I think that's where it's kind of difficult, because cons, although are more open, you're not necessarily doing online advertising in that sense. You're more person. So you get that avoidance, but with COVID and con season, non-existent for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Kind of yes and no. It really cuts in for some of these people, and so when they had quit and started it, so it's just kind of an interesting outside thing, because I had thought about doing cosplay business or something of that nature type stuff, and it's just those are the things to take in consideration that you can be.
Ooh, speaking of cosplay,
Right.
help me, Grims. That the newest game that everyone's freaking out about, Genshin. What's it called? It's like the free download. You don't know?
I don't know. I mean, I
find
probably
out.
did get told about it. Is it some anime thing where you get to pick the boy, the girl, and it looks super realistic? Someone told me about it and said I should play it.
Ghost of Tsushima?
I think it's called Genshin. It's like Genshin Impact. I think that's the name. But
Oh,
it's
okay, because
super
I was
cute
going to
and fun.
say, Ghost of Tsushima looks very real too.
Yeah, there's something that looks really real, and then the one that I've been playing, which I'm sure some of you have heard about, is Among Us. That's the big one to it. So it's like, are you being sus?
Right.
Are you being sus? I don't know if I sent that in the chat. There's this one where it's like orange is being sus, and it looks like a
what's the
certain
funniest
orange
part?
person that's running our country. It's really funny, and it says vote him out. So it's a whole like joke type thing.
Are you talking about this? Can you see?
Yes, that was going to
that
push it up on my
looks
phone
like
too.
it. Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
it
I've
looks
seen
like.
that.
Because
I've seen that advertised.
There's this little character called Paimon, and the whole internet is obsessed with her because she's the perfect little lolly girl with the exact voice that you think she'd have.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Is
have
she the one in red?
no, she is the little white-haired girl that has
okay.
a blue scarf. She has like a blue star on her hair.
Oh yeah,
But-
I see her.
But she has this this scarf, this shawl, and I kind of want to make it.
Let me see. Get you bigger.
Yeah, that little
That's
character
cool.
right there.
That's really
There's
neat.
like
Yeah,
Really
someone
neat
showed me the
design.
graphics, and the game for a mobile device game is pretty sick. So
Oh, yeah,
I was all like,
no.
that looked interesting, but I play so many mobile games. Like right now, Call of Duty is hitting on 1 year anniversary, so it's like I can only do so much, and I'm still doing Fortnite, which is all Marvel this season. So it's like, oh, I can't. My life.
no, I get that. No, I totally understand. If I had the money, I'd totally be on that too. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you won't see me for 2 weeks. Goodbye, guys.
Exactly. It takes up so much.
Wouldn't that be the way? No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
I want to watch myself not being working. I've all I've wanted to do is play video games some days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to lose myself in Minecraft. Like I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow.
Marissa
Some of those
does.
ones are just kind of just good to just get in there and just kind of just forget. I just like the shoot 'em up games. That's why Fortnite and Call of Duty play well, because it's like, you guys get do it. I just like being able to respawn and they kill me and I kill them back, and it's just like I will go on my tablet and be like,
Halo. You need to get in on some Halo then.
that's
Oh my
what,
God,
that's
yes.
what Gort keeps wanting me to do, but I
You
can't do
should.
it.
Let me know. We'll do like some type of online session. We'll play
Definitely.
Halo.
Definitely.
Yes. Oh.
I love Halo.
We do one
So
called Hell on Halo. We choose the smallest board. We put the most amount of people that we can in it, that we can get online at the same time. And then all you get are rocket launchers and grenades. Your average
Holy
lifespan
shit.
is less than 10 seconds.
Yeah. You're in, you're out. You're in.
Oh,
you're
wow.
out.
You respawn as you watch your body fly across the screen.
You're like, well, that was 2 seconds.
Are you sure you're just not watching Red
Damn.
versus Blue? That sounds like something that they would have.
Oh,
I love Red versus Blue.
Serious.
We
Oh,
started
that's
that before Red vs. Blue came out, but yeah, I love Red vs. Blue.
Yeah,
I love it.
I could go on hours about them, but
Yeah, me too.
Like light red.
light red,
It's
like
pink.
light or pink. Like no, it's lightest red.
No,
It's lightest
I'm
red.
a dude.
Yeah, all my passwords for work, because they have to be more like pass phrases and things of that nature to be more secure and stuff. They're all Red versus Blue quotes. That's the easiest way for me to run them and type them.
That's
So
Oh, that's
I don't know.
great.
Looks kind of like a puma.
Puma, Chupa
That's
thingy.
a puma.
Chupa thingy is my favorite. I have that shirt, Chupa thingy.
Hmm,
Tuba thingy.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
But anywho, to get into the topic, I'm going to actually start it with Brink, who actually had something. So I'm going to read his little story and get us started.
Yes.
So he says, my grandmother had a cat named Cece. She gave him up to my dad and stepmom because she moved away. My stepmom would sleep on the couch sometimes and the cat would join her. One night, my stepmom woke up in the middle of the night and swears she saw my grandma there petting the cat, sorry. The next morning, we got a call that my grandma died and that night in a car crash.
No.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I just got like chills.
Ryan, that's crazy.
Heck yes.
Wow.
I've had experiences like that from the nursing home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They would follow me home.
Yeah.
So
I'd wake up in the middle
Are
of
you
the
okay?
night.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you.
Yeah. That's.
Oh my goodness. Do people follow you? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
I have trouble going to Gettysburg sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gettysburg
never
is
been,
really
but I'm worried about
bizarre. That's not some place you want to be at night if you have a sensitivity to these things. There's some bizarre stuff that goes on in Gettysburg.
So there's a Gettysburg in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's close to the Maryland border, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
You know where the
okay.
Gettysburg battle was during the Civil
the
War?
Battle of
Yeah.
Gettysburg.
No, I'm saying, isn't there also one in Virginia?
Gettysburg.
Oh, that's
No.
Antietam.
Or am I just okay?
No, Manassas.
Manassas, Bull Run.
I mean, there's a
First and
lot about
second-
the Civil War that
first and
goes
second
all through there.
Manassas and
There's Fredericksburg.
Yep.
There's
I actually
Chancellorsville.
my house is actually on a battlefield. Lake of the Woods is actually built on part of Chancellorsville Battlefield and Wilderness Battlefield.
Yep.
And it is it's not rare for if you go out and you dig a hole for a plant or something like that to pull up musket balls and stuff like that out of the ground.
Wow.
There's a
The
church.
battles.
There's a
Yeah.
church in Old Town Fredericksburg, downtown Fredericksburg, that has a musket, a cannonball stuck in it, and they won't take it out because they fear the structure.
Whoa.
There's one in my hometown that's actually the courthouse is actually damaged by a cannonball, and they actually have it secured. But but yeah, it's the Civil War was huge around here.
Yeah.
Same here.
There's a house. There's a house in Yorktown, Virginia, that is called the Nelson House, and in one of the side walls there is a cannonball from the Revolutionary War that is embedded in the wall, and you can see it from the outside and the inside because it was one of the bigger cannonballs, and it is wicked. And they're like, yeah, we won't remove it, but yeah. So I love stuff like that. But I tell you what, walking around at night around here can be a little eerie. Yeah. I used to walk when my dog was alive, we'd go for a walk, and he would, at night, he definitely would be, you'd watch him his hackles would raise and he'd stop dead. And he would stand sideways in a protective stance in front of me sometimes. And he'd be like, just growling. I'm going, what are you growling at? I see waving my flashlight around. And I'm like, what are you growling at? And he's like, just looking like, and then he would relax and he'd just keep on walking. I'm going, what on earth is going on? So yeah. It's definitely freaky being on the battlefield.
Gettysburg's the same way. It's just there was a bunch of us that went on a ghost tour in Gettysburg for Halloween one year, and it was lame as fuck. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm not interested in this. This is fucking lame. We go to this old schoolhouse. We're standing around. They got all the fucking little, static fucking AM radio bullshits. And here, hold these water finding sticks. They'll point you to some ghosts. And I'm all like, this is I want out of here. Like, this is lame as shit. And then we left. And we were trying to pull up GPS stuff on our phones and all this other shit.
They mess with the GPS.
This fucking bullshit took us on some back ass roads in Gettysburg in the middle of the fucking night.
Oh, that's horrifying.
We went down this fucking road on the backside of the battlefields, and then it told us to turn and go over this bridge that was a walking bridge We go to pull up and there's like this concrete pillar in the middle of the road. And we're like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm telling you right now, like, I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is not okay. Like, we should not fucking be here right now. Turn the goddamn van around and get us the fuck out of here because there's some bad vibes here. And everybody's like, no, we're fine. They get out of the fucking van and they start taking pictures with their fucking phones. We want to see the ghost. We want to see the ghost. I'm like, you guys are fucking stupid. Let's go. They get back in the van. We leave. We start going back the way we came out, end up finding a main road, and we end up at a Sheets. And I'm like, I know where the fuck we are now. Let's go home. We get back to the house. And everybody's pulling out their phones and looking through the pictures they took at the fucking bridge. There's all these white dots all over the fucking pictures. And I'm like, told you, motherfuckers.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Yeah, no shit.
It was nuts.
If you want to see ghosts at Gettysburg, just take me along because they'll find me. Look at what your house did to me, Jan.
Yeah,
Remember
I'm surprised at that. But then there's a couple of people who've had some sensitivities here. His one buddy gets like weird vibes when he walks up the stairs.
And it was right, Jason, wasn't it? It was right there in the middle of the stairs.
I don't know.
Right in the middle of the stairs.
I don't really have like I don't get.
Yeah, it was the old man. It was an old man.
I don't get weird vibes here.
How old's
like
your house?
I get like relaxing. I'm fine here. Like I'm mellow here. I like it here. I don't have a.
Our last house had 5 ghosts in it, and I was used to them, and we were okay. There's one here, but this house is newer than what she is.
Okay.
Right.
No, this is 1890.
When Russ and I were dating, when Russ and I were dating, he used to live in Alexandria, in the Delray section of Alexandria, and I was staying the night at his house, and he slept in the basement. I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was an old guy standing on the stairs to the basement, just staring at us in like overalls, like farmer's overalls and whatnot. And I woke Russ up, and I went, Russ, who the hell is the farmer? And he goes, what? I said, there's a guy standing on the stairs. He looked and goes, I don't see anything. I'm like, I swear to you, there's a fucking guy standing on the stairs. He was like, okay. I said, I'm just going to go back to sleep. It's all good, whatever. And I'm like, and I hate sleeping in that basement. I always felt like he was staring at me, like somebody was there staring at me. I could always feel it. And I was like, this is just weird. But all that was built on old farmland, like on old plantation land and stuff down there in Alexandria. So yeah. It was really strange, though. The feelings of the feelings of somebody watching you was weird. But that's not the first time any place that I've been at that I've felt like that, though.
It was a few years ago. We were in Tappahannock. My aunt was getting married, and we stayed at a bed and breakfast that used to be an old house, and they converted it to, and then there was the slave quarters that they actually converted into more rooms, almost kind of like apartment style for those who were staying longer. And that's where Jason and I were staying. And there were a few times where it was like, yeah, you could tell that there were still something there.
Oh my God. Now I'm kind of freaking out because I'm alone down here and I'm just like, I live in an old house too, man.
I feel like if there's bad vibes, you'll know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
if usually chill down your spine.
No. You get like a very anxiety high feeling. It's different. Chills down your spine just means like there's like a presence maybe, but like if you get that anxiety high where you're like, oh fuck, and you start
to get the hell out of here type thing.
Yeah. See, I was just the tingling. Like I just knew there was something there. It was nothing like bad.
No,
but I think it also
bridge
was knowing that this used to be like slave quarters.
Right.
So I had an experience. Right before we got married, I was sleeping and I woke up I sat straight up in bed and I look up and my grandmother and some guy are literally just trying to tell me something, just like desperately trying to tell me something. And it was clearly my grandmother, and this guy, he had obviously had blonde hair at one time, but it had turned white with old age. He had a longer face. He wore a Dickie shirt, and he was missing his arm just above his elbow, and it was pinned back. The sleeve was pinned back. And there was a girl standing in the background. She looked to be about like 11, 12 years old, and she had a bobbed haircut, black hair, which is very odd in my family because either redheads or blonde in my family. So I wake up and I finally go back to sleep, but these people were desperately trying to tell me something. I'm like, okay. So I wake up the next day and I tell my mom, and I'm like, Mom, these people were trying to tell me something. And I described them, and she looked at me and she goes, I've never shown you a picture of your grandfather. How would you know what he looks like?
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So she said, I think it was my dad's father. So
that's cool.
She ruffles around. She's like, I have a picture here somewhere. And she finally finds it and she shows me, and I literally jump back from the table. And she goes, that's him, isn't it? And I'm like, oh yeah. How did you know? How did you know? And who's the girl? We haven't figured out who the girl is, but we found a picture of her. No other pictures, just one. So less than a week later, my dad has a stroke that almost kills him.
Oh, geez.
Whoa. Did you find out who she was?
That's what they were trying to tell me. They were desperately trying to tell me to watch out for my dad because they basically told us when he first had it, he wouldn't live. And yeah, they were trying to tell me. And that's not the first one I've seen like that. Like my grandmother, the same one that showed herself to me before my dad had a stroke. I knew she passed away before they told me she passed away. She came to tell me.
Wow.
I woke up and my mom's like, I have something to tell you. I said, yeah, Grandma's dead. And she goes, I don't know how you know this. So if you were
how old were you?
When my dad passed away, when my grandmother passed away, I was 16. And when my dad had his stroke, I was 23.
Okay.
I've had stuff happen from when I was a kid on.
Yeah.
I would know my patients were dead
Rhea
before.
Oh, geez, that's so bad. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that would freak me out. I'd be like, oh no.
I'd know they were dead before I went into work because they would visit me the night before I went into work to let me know that they had passed.
When Rhea was little, she had to be like 3, maybe 3 or 4. She maybe a little bit older. She was in her bedroom and she was talking to somebody. And my mom walked in and she goes, who are you talking to? And Rhea said, I'm talking to the man in the closet. And Mom goes, the man in the closet? She said, yeah. She said, the man in the closet is singing and he's making me laugh. And he was telling me stories. And she was like, what story? She said, he was telling me stories about being shot. And I was like, my moms were telling the story to me, and my daughter, and I asked my daughter, I said, what did the man look like? She said, well, he was old and he was funny and he was singing and he had a Redskins hat on and he was playing a guitar and he was telling me how he got all of his stuff shot off of him on the beach. And I went, holy shit, that's my grandfather. My grandfather stormed Normandy Beach, and before he even reached the beach, all of his equipment was shot off of him, and then he had shrapnel in his back and in his legs. And he would sing to us all the time. And he had come to visit my daughter. And and it was so creepy because she would tell us about him constantly. I was like, okay, Grandpa's hanging out with his great granddaughter, that he never got to meet. So yeah, it was really, really interesting. It was a little bit freaky because I was like, I wasn't even married when he passed away yet. So it was like, okay, all right, you came to visit your great granddaughter, okay. But yeah.
My aunt does that where she comes to visit. Well, she came to visit frequently. She had a habit of hiding my stuff to begin with in life, and she liked to play jokes on me.
Wow.
So there was one time that she liked to take expensive stuff, especially. I had this pair of blue suede shoes that I absolutely loved. Couldn't find them for weeks. And I'm yelling at my husband. I'm like, "Where are my shoes?" And next thing I know, they're in front of me, like literally sitting right in front of me where they don't belong. I'm like, okay, why'd you borrow them? I still have a ring that she hasn't given back. I got to figure out where she put that. And my dad passed away in January. I was sleeping the other week, and next thing I know, I hear my name the way my dad used to say it before he had his stroke, and I knew it was him. I sat straight up in bed.
Wow. Have any of y'all ever been walking like in your house or something like that, and all of a sudden like a perfume or the smell of roses or something like that just appears for a minute, and then it's gone, and you're looking around and you're going, yeah, and you're like, what the hell? Who is that? My mom used to say that every time we smelled roses in the house, that it was my great grandmother, the one that my middle name is from. And I was like, really? Why? She said, because that's all she grew was roses, and she always had roses in her house. And she always smelled like roses. She would make her own rose perfume and everything. And I was like, okay. So even still to this day, every once in a blue moon, I'll just smell roses real quick, like it just wafts past my face. I'm like, hi, Grandma, how are you? You know, and I never met her, but it was really weird.
I get that with Old Spice. Go on.
There was one time my mom was doing something, and she got a whiff of cigarette smoke. Mm-hmm. Of course, no one in our house smokes. And next thing she knows, her sister is calling her and was like, "Did you happen to smell cigarette smoke?" And her other sister then called her on her cell phone and was like, "Did you smell cigarette smoke?" Their dad used to be a heavy smoker and actually died because of lung cancer. And they all smelled cigarette smoke within not that far of each other of it. My mom was like, okay.
Wow.
It happens to me sometimes walking through the house. You know, Sandy smoked in her house, so I'll catch a whiff of that like stale cigarette smoke. Mm-hmm. And like stale cigarette smoke with a cigarette burning. Do you know what I mean? Like that smell.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And she used these air filters that she got out of the Finger Hut catalog that were like charcoal filters. So I smell that too. I'll smell the stale smoke, the stale cigarettes, the charcoal filter, and then her cigarettes burning all at the one time, and I'll be like, "Sup?" Either that or like randomly an Elvis song will either get stuck in my head or it'll pop on my Pandora when it's least expected, and I'm like, hi, thanks for fucking with me right now. I wasn't prepared, you know. And she would, you know, or go ahead.
That's my mom. That ever since she passed away, it'll like Elvis songs will pop up in weird places. Like I was walking through the showroom at work one day, and they just have random music playing through the showroom. I'm walking through the showroom, and it goes from, and I've never heard an Elvis song playing on that loop, and Jailhouse Rock plays, and I'm going, Mom, why are you at work? You know, I don't know if I need you at work right now, but okay, you know. But it's in weird places. Like you'll be listening to, you know, like listening to a radio station, and you'll hear a remix of an Elvis song, or you know, or a cover of an Elvis song, and it's like okay, all right, this is a channel I would expect to hear that on, but okay.
Yeah. That's what happened the morning she died. Was Elvis came on my Pandora, so that's how I know. Like every fucking time it happens, I know she's like swinging in to say hi. Or every once in a while, I'll just hear her voice in my head. And I know that sounds like so you're just remembering or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's different whenever it's not me remembering something that she said. It's her telling me something now. You know, it's completely different.
Right.
It's like
that's relevant to now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Or my grandma just passed like 2 weeks ago, and I could feel her hand on my cheek. You know, like it was just
wow.
You know, and she didn't. Okay, grandma's a hillbilly. Let's not forget that. She did not wear deodorant because she believed it caused cancer.
Okay.
So she smelled like garlic and onions all the time. She always had her hands in the garden anyway, and she grew garlic and onions, but she always smelled that way. Like her.
It's not bad.
Probably because she ate a lot of it.
It's perfectly fine, but
the natural orders.
That's your grandmother's smell, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the fact that like her skin was always like her hugs were warm, but her skin was like the softest, coolest skin I'd ever touched in my life. Like it was like she never sweat at all. Like it was weird. And I remember that. I could feel that when she passed that next week. It was like, okay. Okay.
Oh.
It's good.
I have an experience story. So when I was 9, this is like a pet ghost story. So if you guys have any, please. So it's gonna sound tragic. It is, but don't feel sorry. It's okay. It's just to preface this. So don't cry for me. It's okay.
Okay.
So when I was 9, we had just moved into this house. So in 2001, we had moved in. This was before 9/11, I think. Yes, I think so. Yeah, that was a busy year. So yeah, we moved into our current house, and I was out front waiting for the bus stop. So the whole situation that with my family nowadays, well, that back then was my mom had to leave for work an hour early, and my dad was already gone. He left for work like crack of dark, like super early in the morning. So I'd be like, you know, the remaining hour until my bus came, I would be alone. So it was only for like a little bit, and my parents did as much as they could. You know, we grew up poor, so it is what it is. So I'm waiting outside on my own, and I go out the front door, and to, you know, add to the story, our front door had like this round knob on it, right?
Right.
So I go out front door, I'm waiting. My neighbor from across the street comes by, and she's like, you know, talking with me, and, you know, it's going like, hey, you're waiting for your bus stop. She's being a good neighbor, basically. And then before I know it, my 2 dogs, and they're big dogs, they're Akitas. They somehow open the door. And you have to like open it towards yourself to get out. They somehow open the door and make their way outside, and, you know, at this point I'm freaking out, right? I'm like going like, oh my god, what's happening? How do I get back inside? One of our dogs, Hero, you know, we had a male and a female. He was sick in the head, but we didn't know. He attacks my neighbor, like lunges at her shoulder and like goes like fully bites down and everything. Thank God her husband came out and like tore him off, because I don't know, she might have been like dead or something. I don't know. But I'm 9, I'm freaking out. I'm like, what do I do? Dog gets pulled off. He starts running down the street. I'm like, my dogs are my dogs are out of the house. My neighbor just got attacked. And I'm just like, I go back inside, I call my mom, and then I call 911. Long story short. So they're at the pound, and of course, with that type of situation, they have to be euthanized.
Both
so
of
there's
them?
a sad part.
Right.
Both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though the one was the attacker and the other one was not?
Yeah, because she followed her alpha.
Oh.
Yeah, so she did what he did, which to this day I still think is unfair, because she didn't deserve that. But whatever. I still can't explain, because I could have sworn after they were euthanized, for about a week, I saw the shadow of my dog at the base of the stairs. And I couldn't figure out what was making that shadow. And after that week was up, he was gone. My
He was saying
dog
goodbye.
said goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was.
Yep.
I still can't explain it because I'm just like, I literally tried to figure it out. I went down the stairs and I'm just like looking for objects that were making the shadow. I went in front of it. Nothing changed. It looked like the top of his head with his little pointy ears. And I was just like, okay, well, thank you, girl. Bye. You know. So yeah.
Pets say goodbye too.
Yeah,
They do.
They do.
I had a cat. She passed my senior year of high school, and I knew because I remember my parents woke me up and they were like, Sassy is just, something's not right with her. And she responded to me. I mean, she was my cat. And I mean, she was just, I mean, you could tell like something was just not right. And so they took her to the emergency vet because our vet wasn't open yet. And of course, I had to get ready to go to school, unfortunately. And I get to school and I just knew. I was like, she's not gonna be there when I get home. And my parents actually came to the school to tell me that she had passed away on the way to the vet. And for a long time, like, I could hear her meow. I could feel her on the bed with me. And I would like see her outside wanting like up in the tree. There she had a tree she loved to climb up and hang out with. And it was just one of those, I was like, yeah, I know you're still here, girl.
Yeah. So this is my cat Saber.
Oh, little orange kitty.
I love orange kitties.
Me too.
So, is that a bobtail?
No, he just had his tail kind of curly cued around something else. So he was the bestest cat in the whole wide world. I loved him. He was like our child. He wanted carried all the time, just like a baby. I mean, everything. So unfortunately, we get Kylo right about the time Saber's really going downhill. He ended up with pancreatitis and lung cancer and diabetes, and
so rough.
He was really, really sick. And so I made an appointment. We were going to put him down. And he was in my arms when he died. And to this day, I still feel him laying between my legs the way he used to. Because I lay on my stomach. He'd lay at my ankles between my legs. And the funny thing is now Kylo does it too. But even if Kylo's not around, but if Kylo's not around, but Kylo never did that until after Saber passed away. And he just didn't. And it hasn't been until recently that he started doing that.
Because he probably felt that the presence is gone now.
Maybe empathy?
Yeah, I think that could be a thing too. Because I've seen it, like JD and I have talked about that, because there are things that his dog Thor did that now Otto does. Yeah. And I think it's very much so like an empathy thing where like, don't forget my brother, or, right. I still remember. Do you remember, like a sharing a memory kind of thing, but a very like primal way of doing that?
Kylo was only 3 months old when Saber passed away. So the fact that Kylo's doing some of what Saber was doing really just kind of like hits him home. I'm sorry, I'm starting to cry.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, that's kind of what's going to happen with these kind of stories, because sometimes, it is a past person or I call animals people. Yeah. My dogs are the greatest people I've ever known. But like, so it's one of those things where like sometimes people who have been in our lives say goodbye or say hello or whatever in various ways. So it's gonna do that. It's okay. Cry if you gotta cry, honey.
I was trying not to cry when I was mentioning my dad because of it being so soon.
Yeah, fresh.
fresh. When I was saying about laying concrete, I just completely started bawling the other day because my dad taught me how to lay concrete. And we would get messy and all this other stuff. But I remember specifically something that happened. And I'm standing there mixing concrete, bawling. My husband's like, he just walked away. He's like, she needs a minute.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when, oh, sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, it's just been really interesting that we're talking about this. And you're saying about how family members come back to visit you. My uncle came back to visit his daughter and took all the pans out of her cupboard and stacked them. And then was just standing there kind of like, and looking at her like, now what you gonna do?
It's more conversations for me. I think like Eric said something about he wishes he was ghost sensitive, and it's not so much. I feel like I'm not as sensitive as some people, like probably like Jason or yourself, Casper. But I think it's one of those things where because I'm not, it's more of a conversational situation or a smell or that sensation of feeling my grandma's arm or her hand or whatever, around me or against my cheek, or the smell of my grandfather's cologne as I walk past an area of the house or something, and it just hits me. There's that freaking aftershave, or whatever. It's more like that. I think some people have a much higher sensitivity. Some people don't have any sensitivity at all, and some people don't know what the signs are. And
it's dependent on the person.
That too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like for you, it's your touch. Mm-hmm. Whereas me, I get feelings. I get the feelings of the ghost.
Mm-hmm. The emotions, you mean?
The emotions and stuff. We were in my spare bedroom the one time, and I don't even know how we ended up there. There was like 5 of us in there. I think we were going to
like you do when you're having an orgy.
Exactly. We're all sitting down, and all of a sudden the temperature in the room drops by 20 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Like you could see your breath.
Wow. At that point, I think I'd run.
No, I'm sitting there, and one of our friends, he's very not clairvoyant.
Yeah, you got it.
He reaches out with his mind, and I'm looking at him. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He goes, "I felt that." I'm like, "Get away from me!" So about that time, I said, "Who's the woman in here?" And it was because I was the only woman in the room, and there were 4 guys in the room with me, of course, because but
yeah, I mean, it's an
orgy. Yes, how the orgy goes.
So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, she's approaching my friend Chuck, and I'm like, Chuck, who's the woman? He goes, describe her, and I describe everything about her. I get feelings. I don't necessarily see them, but I get the feelings of the person and what they're feeling of themselves. And I explained to him who, and he goes, "Oh, that was my mom." Whoa. And she was just very happy with the fact she wanted to let him know that she was very happy that he found his place in life. And she was glad that I could portray that to him. And we're like, okay, well, we're all getting cold here. So we walk out of the room and the temperature rises, and we all had goosebumps. Our skin was cold, and we all had to go down and drink hot chocolate to get warm. It was insane.
Wow.
I had, I guess an inappropriate thought. So I've been hearing your stories.
Yes, I can. I can see dead people.
I am thinking, so like a lot of your stories are, your parents come to visit you, say hi, or warn you or something. I wonder if there's ever, God, I'm gonna hate myself for saying this.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't.
there's ever an awkward situation, like say you're having fun in the bedroom and mom tries to talk to you, and then
Well, here's the funny thing. My mom would deliberately try to call us at certain times when she was alive.
To
interrupt.
To interrupt.
So did she?
Not that I have noticed, but then I think my mind is on other things.
I will tell you this, Ams. My aunt used to tell a story after her beloved, love of her life, the father of her youngest child. When he passed, she would tell stories that he would come to visit her at night when she was sleeping.
And give her some
wow.
fun.
Yeah.
So she wasn't lonely while he was gone.
I was wondering about that. I'm just like, I wonder, because like
everyone needs a little hanky panky, even if it means
I feel
getting it from
this is a topic that I know Red Letter Media has talked about. With they'll go on about movies with ghosts and stuff, and there's like your favorite ghost, and there's like one movie there's like a sex ghost or something like that. Some guy.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, that one's which one was that? That was a scary movie.
I don't know, something of that nature.
Oh no, I know.
No, it was
like something.
Like it was wasn't it one of the Wayans brothers or something?
Possibly, or something like that. So,
I think it was the third one.
Yeah.
It was like a Paranormal Activity parody movie.
Yeah.
No, that one was more Poltergeist.
Yeah.
She like he like took her all around the ceiling, but they were like doing it on the ceiling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
People think of it and potentially had experience of similar nature to it. I mean, as long as they're giving you an attaboy type situation, then I'm sure it's not that bad.
Your late grandfather or someone, they're just like, I knew you could do it. I know you're bad.
I mean, I really hope no, for my sake. I just don't. The people who have passed in my life, please.
I think about that. No, because my mother-in-law, she's deceased, and I'm just like, oh, I wonder.
You'd hope not. You'd hope not.
I'm just like, I knew you knew, but
don't walk in on that though. Don't walk in on that.
I guarantee, because when Jason was staying and helping out his grandmother after his grandfather died, and we would stay in the room that was kind of like his grandfather's room. There were definitely times it would not surprise me
if he was standing there watching.
Standing there watching.
30 men, I'm telling you.
Giving the attaboys.
I fucking hope not, man.
Well, if you're ever getting a smack on the ass randomly, it's like, hey, I said no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm the one who did it.
I mean, you never know.
It was the ghost.
Everybody says they're sensitive to ghosts in this house. Now I'm starting to wonder what's watching us and who.
I'm sorry.
You know what his grandfather has seen or done in that house.
You have to ask JD if he ever gets a random tickle, and it's like,
you got burn some sage before you do anything.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't.
Actually, not sage. Oh, what is it that they say to
Smudge.
Yes.
Oh yeah, smudge.
Yeah,
Smudge
but
it's
smudge
the,
is better.
it's the sage.
it is sage.
It's sage. It's
Smudging is
sage
sage.
smudge.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch. Yep.
There's actually different ones too. Like you can use different kinds of sage. You can actually use different types of wood also. Like you can actually get a smudging kit that has all that shit in it. It's got like the white sage. It's got like the holy something birch wood, and then like a bunch of other ones that you can burn to help get rid of that kind of stuff. So.
Oof. Okay, Jeremy brought up something, and I have some not demon per se, but sleep paralysis does suck. I've had difficulty waking up from a dream, and I've known that I've needed to wake up and try to scream, and I think the most was just kind of like, and like I don't even think Gort woke up with me trying to do it, and I would just wake up in a panic from it. But I know I've had it multiple times where I'm trying to get out of said said dream, and my body refuses to let go. And even though I know I'm awake, I need to be awake.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I wake up screaming like that, and Eric said I've actually run, and I've fallen.
Oh wow!
I've gotten up and continued to scream. And I have really good lungs. Let's put it that way. And he said he had to shake me awake. And he's like, people are going to freaking call the cops because you're screaming bloody murder and they're killing you.
Oh my goodness.
Jason and I actually we finished watching the first season of Evil, and that actually was like part of the storyline was the sleep paralysis, and she would have like a demon, and it was her. She was kind of like at one point she was like, "I'm dreaming. This is my dream.
Wait,
the
what
hell
is it?
out of my dream." It's called Evil. I think it's on like CBS or something.
That's why
It's all about like demons and like the church and exorcism. It actually was really good. Like Jason and I binge watched it like over 3 days. I finally was like, I need sleep. I can't stay up till almost 3 in the morning.
That's funny.
I personally never really had ghost experience or things of that nature, as you know, as some people like to claim that I'm not a full Mexican or a real Mexican. I did grow up with Mexican things and things of that nature and beliefs. Okay. So I do like ghosts. I do like the concept of ghosts and things. I just never really experienced them myself. But growing up, my brother had an imaginary friend called Gus. And would talk to this person all the time and things of that nature. But my mother and my stepmom had believed that she had seen Gus around the house and stuff and would be walking around. She would just see some random man that would be walking around. I personally never experienced them, but that was just something that was kind of known. But in Mexican like culture, maybe it's more just California Mexicans, but they have a house ghost called a cucuy that lives like in the house. Usually it's the one room that's haunted. And if there's only 2 bedrooms, one of the 2 bedrooms are haunted. It's just that it's kind of thing that's just part of culture, is that, you know, you have a ghost and it's haunting you and it's a cucuy. And it just is, it's just kind of there. And so it's just one of those, it's just one of those things that is just part of the culture. So you kind of just always accepted it as something that's there.
Isn't that kind of part of the culture though?
Yeah.
Do California Mexicans also celebrate the Day of the Dead?
We never really did. To be perfectly honest, it wasn't so much of that holiday in particular. I don't remember it being a big thing for other California Mexicans or something of that nature. I mean, I think it became more of a thing like now, just because, you know, it's a holiday, Halloween, all that fun stuff, all that type of stuff. But like growing up, it wasn't so much from that side of the family of being like something major that I can remember it being.
I love it. It's so colorful. Like all the you know, you're adorning skulls and you're making light of death.
Oh, it's so
nice.
Another place is going to New Orleans around Halloween because they love celebrating. If you were to go to a funeral, you need to go to one in New Orleans because they just celebrate life when it comes to funerals.
What
do they do? They walk through the streets.
They have
all
the
the music.
parades. They have music. They'll take over like a whole barn, have just parties and drinks and food.
Yeah, it's a celebration of life more with them. I know that
and Irish are the same way. They have the funeral and get drunk.
Always wanted to go, never been.
Oh, of course.
The Irish
pretty much
have a fight.
Well, back in the day, the Irish used to set the body up in the corner of the room, and they would have a party for that person, and that was the wake. And my mom wanted something like that so badly, and my sister and I both were like, no, I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, we're not gonna do that.
But those were the wishes.
I can't even. Yeah, no. That I tell you what, it was. I have a hard time with open casket funerals, much less, and it seems like every funeral I've been to lately, which unfortunately has been more than I probably should, every one of them has been open casket, and that it's a very uneasy feeling going to an open casket funeral because it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like you keep expecting something to happen.
Too personal?
Yeah, it's not personal. It's almost like you can feel that there's flesh and bone with no soul. But you can feel the soul like standing behind you, not in, like you can feel the separation of the body and soul. And it's really one of those feelings where I kind of, I do the procession and I file by and I really can't look for more than a second because I can feel that separation. It's almost like it's a separation and you can feel it. And it's just, I don't know. It freaks me out. I took one of my cousins passed away when Rhea was, I want to say she was a year and a half old. And we went to the funeral and we walked into the room and Rhea just lost it. Now, Rhea was always a calm, she was rambunctious, but she wasn't a crier. But we walked into the room and she just broke down and started screaming. She was crying and freaking out. And I had to stay out of the funeral and, listen to it on those speakers because she was just freaking out. She couldn't go anywhere near. And like even just going in the door, and it was an open casket. And I didn't even do the procession because I was like, I can't even take her near because I couldn't even get her through the doorway. As soon as we walked in the doorway, she was screaming. Now, young kids, from what I understand, are extremely sensitive to that. So I have a feeling that she felt something or saw something that she was not comfortable with at all. But she wasn't a screamer. She wasn't a crier like that. So yeah, it definitely made me feel like, well, good, I'm not alone. It's tough to do.
I don't do well with open caskets either. I've told my mom that when she eventually when she ever does pass, she's already said she wants to be cremated. But I was like, I'm gonna have them like put salt in with her ashes, and then it's gonna go in a lead line box, and with salt going around that, so her spirit can't come on me.
Kind of keep her trapped in a can. Jeez.
Oh no,
that was her wishes. Oh, no. That's what she wanted you to do.
No, I was joking that I was going to do that to her. I was like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna like sprinkle salt around so you can. Your spirit can't come haunt me. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'll find a way.
Because of what I do, I've watched so many people pass away. Watching the soul divide from the body is an interesting experience, and I've become normalized to death, I guess. Watching that process.
Well, your profession, yeah.
So it's interesting. We had one lady, she had passed away. She had no legs, and she passed away, and we got somebody else in that bed. And a week later, this woman, we knew she was terminal. We knew it wasn't going to be long. And we she was in the bed, and she's like, get that woman out of here. Get that woman out of here. We're like, there's two of us here. We're okay. Just calm down. And we're like, okay, time for some Ativan. She goes, no, I'm telling you, get the lady with no legs out of here.
Oh, wow.
Can you describe her? Yeah, she doesn't have either leg. And she's floating up there in the corner. You need to get her away from here. Get her away. And she's like flipping out. And I'm like, there's no way that this woman would have known about the lady that passed away before her.
Wow.
Next day, the lady passed away.
The lady was trying to tell her.
We actually
It's
had
time to go.
Yeah, we had a guy who was in the process of passing away, and I'm getting ready to do last rounds with my partner, and she left me down at the end of the hallway. Now this place had been built back early 1900. It was a poorhouse, so I'm standing there. Oh yeah, it gets great. So I'm standing there, and next thing I know, I see this black figure walk right in front of me, black out the windows that are in front of me. Now, there's no way that light could have come in or gone out because the screens were closed, and it literally blocked out the light coming from my direction towards the windows. It was a black figure that was about 6 foot tall. He had a top hat on that was about a foot long. Very genteel, satin ribbon around the hat, coat tails, dark pants, dark boots, dark jacket. And I'm just standing there. I'm 18 at the time. And I'm just standing there and I'm like, okay. I turn around and look at my partner. She goes, "You look like you've seen a ghost." She knew by this point. I'm like, yeah, I think I did. I said, I described it, and she goes, "Oh, that was the ghost undertaker to take the soul of him away because he's about ready to pass away."
Wow.
Yeah.
You had a genteel Grim Reaper.
Like that.
Yeah.
This is why I like also to see other cultures and how they view like the Grim Reaper or like death gods, like because like the Japanese have Shinigami, so you have like different gods of death, and then oh man, I know that the Grim Reaper is like the most popular one worldwide because I know that the Spanish do, and it's just interesting, or well, if you like do Greek culture and mythology, you have Charon, who's the
person who takes the souls to the underworld.
Yeah, exactly. The fairy guy, whatever. The fairy guy.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
But it's so awesome.
We know
like,
what you mean.
Your Grim Reaper is this elegant man instead of the Mr. Black cloak with skeleton under a black cloak with the giant scythe. Interesting. I like it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Got me going on.
I used to have family members come to me in my sleep, in like dreams. I would be in like a dream, and all of a sudden, like my grandfather would be there, and I'd be like, "I'm okay." After our neighbor passed away, she would like randomly just come in my dream.
That's cool.
And I was like, okay, you're just checking up on me. You're checking up on me. I get it. And then I was actually, talking about how like knowing when someone passes, when Jason's grandfather passed away, it was actually on the same day as his one sister's wedding. It was a small wedding, so we're all there at the wedding. And apparently, like, you could just feel this chill just go through the whole crowd. And we knew, like, everyone knew that he had passed at that moment. And he waited till everyone was out of the house to pass.
A lot of them do.
And that was how it was with our neighbor, because when she was in the hospital, pretty much dying, her daughter wanted to always be there. And we finally looked at her and said, "Look, she's going to continue to hold on as long as you're in that room with her. The best thing you can do is walk away and let her go peacefully, because otherwise she is going to hold on and continue to suffer. You need to walk away and let her die in peace." And as soon as she did, as soon as she walked away and went home, she got the call. They got the call not long afterwards that her mom had passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So
Aw.
I have another ghost story from Gettysburg. We were scouting Gettysburg as for a film, and we were there after dark when you're not supposed to be, but it was just as the sun was going down. And if you've ever heard anything about Gettysburg, it has this odd fog that just rolls in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know where it comes from. It just rolls in. So, and it rolls in very quickly. So, and the sun went down. It was like the sun dropped into darkness like that. So we were at Devil's Den, and we get in the car, and all of a sudden it's dark. And so I go to pull out of Devil's Den, and right around the corner is this statue of a Union soldier that is pointing in the opposite, is in the direction you're going. And in front of him, I see a Confederate cavalryman with this wide brim hat. He had the gold lettering and the gold ribbon, the gold rope. He had the curved sword like the cavalrymen wear, and he had the long coats that were split in the front and the back so he could ride a horse. And he was wearing knee boots. And he pulled his sword out and went in the direction out of the park. Needless to say, I almost wrecked my car.
Oh my god.
I was not expecting that.
Now, have you guys ever heard of, and I know that this is a phenomenon that I've heard of a few times, of ghost buildings, where there's buildings that used to stand in a certain place, and like you'll catch them out of the corner of your eye or whatever, and it'll just be like a shadow of itself. It doesn't happen often. Like the tales of it are very rare, but it does happen.
It happens more with
there's a road that I go down, that I used to go down a lot with Russ, and when we were ride sharing before, and there was this old rundown house, but I swear when he and I were first driving down that road that house was not run down, and that at one point I saw 3 dark-skinned men standing out on the porch wearing khaki pants and white wife beaters, and they were smoking. And I swear, but the very next day we drove by, the screens are all falling off of the porch is falling apart, the house is falling apart, but that house was in pristine condition with 3 young dark-skinned men standing on the porch the day before. And I know that building was there, that was like that. And still to this day, anytime I drive down that road, I'm looking for that house going, maybe I just saw the wrong house. Maybe I'm thinking I was in the wrong area.
Can I ask you a question? So the building is still standing. You just had a vision of what it looked like probably 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I found it. I to this day, I'm like, I keep looking for a house that looks exactly like it, but
that's more of a projection on your part. Because from my understanding, like if you're talking about like ghost housing, that's more like houses that have burned down that are no longer standing, and then you see them in that place. Even if another building has been built there or they've turned it into something else, it could be like a freaking Walmart in a parking lot, and you'll get a vision of a house in that parking lot. But when you see a house in its pristine original condition, that's a projection to you.
Yeah.
Like even more so, because like you're seeing that's kind of a different thing from my understanding. I could be completely fucking wrong, but
that sounds like you're time sensitive.
Yeah, that too.
Huh?
Time sensitive.
What'd you say, Casper? Yeah.
That
Probably.
you're time sensitive.
Time sensitive? I've never heard of that.
There was a road I used to drive on, and it was usually night. It was 236. You would kind of know where, Anna. Past the Annandale Community College, going towards like 495 on 236.
Okay, I know where you're at.
And I would be driving, and every time there was this one stretch of woods, every time I passed it, I just got this like feeling, this just evil, dark feel. And finally, one day I looked at my mom and I said, every time I drive past there, and it's always at night, I get this just evil feel. And she just looked at me. She's like, there used to be a hanging tree not far from the road.
Oh, wow.
So I was feeling that evil.
That hanging tree.
From the hanging tree. I mean, just thinking about it now, I'm just like...
That's that anxious feeling. That sick, anxious
and I
feeling.
didn't know it at the time, and I was like, holy crap. And I sometimes will get that, like, feeling in, like, certain places, like Old Town Alexandria, or, like, Williamsburg, places like that. There have been times where I've gotten that feeling. I'm like, there's something really evil.
Yep.
Well, ladies, we have hit 10 o'clock, so we're at the end of our show. But before I leave, I want to leave on a little bit more of a lighter note. A lot of craziness and whatnot. So I found a few ghost memes that I would like to share. So first one, when I'm getting a snack at 3 a.m., I hear a ghost knock something over, and it goes, come fight me in the dark. Another one, some ghosts justing each other because one has a little bit of a lighter, smaller outfit. And last one, this one cracks me up the most. So just found this entitled "Ghost Scared of Its Own Tits."
When I rolled over on my side.
That looks like you were asleep.
When you lay on your side?
No, squish over there.
The pain. Used to do that. She'd lay on her tits. Man, my
So before we leave, does round robin for anyone to do their shout outs? We'll start with Anna.
Yes, I'd like to shout out my friends at MPSP Theater, although, of course, my husband is on timeout now. He's not allowed to talk to me for a while. He was coming on late. And I'd like to shout out, and I'm going to steal this one from you, Bethany. I like to shout out the Nerds Have Spoken. You guys are awesome. And let's see here. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah. And sleep. I'd like to shout out sleep.
Sleep is important. Chan.
The shelf gravies. Bum, bum, bum. And all that fun stuff. Every other Wednesday we're doing a show giving tips and tricks on things. We're gonna start doing, JD's been painting like heads and helmets and weapons for 1/12 figures, and we're gonna start getting into some other stuff because I know how to make cosplay armor, and we do know how to make dioramas, so we're gonna start digging into some different things and tricks and stuff like that. So tune in if you're interested. And of course, other than the shelf gravies, we have the realm. I guess.
Yes.
Family.
Ams, you're next.
So yeah, now I have it out on as my username now. So it's Make a Designs, MAJKA Designs. I know. I'm sorry.
Magica.
Magic.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You can call me Mrs. Magic. It's all right. I'm okay with that.
Go
Exactly. I don't care. I kind of think it's better. Anyway,
I'm changing my last name, hon. I know I love you, but
just do it.
It's just gonna be it's just gonna be just easier for all.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I do prints, commissions, I'm an artist. Please buy my stuff and commission me.
Do
Basically,
Give me money.
give me money. So I need to eat and pay for things. Please, thank you. I make a designs on Facebook. So yeah, exactly. I'm on breadcrumbs right now.
Yeah,
Breadcrumbs.
right.
I'm on Facebook as Make It Designs, and I'm also on Redbubble. We can put a link in later. But it's also on my on that page. You can also ask me too if you're curious. So yeah, I saw all kinds of cute little products on there like t-shirts and masks, and new stuff is always coming out. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, basically that. And another shout out to Nerds Have Spoken. I know you did it, Anna, but I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
So
They haven't given me Bethany anything. So are you
You're not
gonna?
gonna have anything.
What is the show that your husband does?
I don't know. I mean, is it the Asshole Show?
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
I just wanted to thank them though.
They're never late because they pre-record show?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
That was interesting. No, I just wanted to thank them. I know they're listening. Thank us for thank them for having us on Max and I. It was really fun, and I'd love to do another one, but that's up to them. So
they'll have you back on. Jason had fun.
Awesome. Go ahead, Lady Love. I'm sorry.
Well, obviously, it's been said so many times, but don't forget about the Saturday night meetups. Don't know if one will be happening this weekend since, the guy who runs it is not going to be in the area since we've got his 16th birthday party to go to.
Come on, you can come here. We're gonna wear costumes and act stupid.
Where do you think we're gonna be? We're going to his 16th birthday party, but it's gonna be more of just a bunch of nerds coming together.
We can go live. We can go live.
A giant Zoom call. Just
talk to Jason
in the dining room.
I mean, two of the people who are on the Saturday night meetup is going to be at your house on Saturday. But yeah, of course, Nerds Have Spoken. I'll throw another out there for NPSP. But yeah, that's about it. What about you, Casper?
Minus Russ. NPSP minus Russ. He's in trouble.
Shout out to Hole in the Ground Productions, Forkman Studios, and of course, the Nerds Have Spoken.
That show is just a big whore.
It passed around. No.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, nothing.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna shout out supporting local small business in this time. As we know, COVID is hurting a lot of small businesses, whether it's local or just your online favorite thing, con people, jobs, things of that nature. Yeah. Everyone's struggling, and the best thing that we can do as a country and the world is support each other during this time frame. So if possible, buying small business where you can, especially your local restaurants. So many people who have restaurants as their dream and taking a huge hit on it because of all the closures and stuff. It's a big hit on a lot of jobs for a lot of people, especially for their safety because, masks are being taken off for food, eating, and things of that nature. Yeah. So just be aware. And of course, all our first responders as well. Anyone who's happens to be in your family, police, EMS, fire, nurses, doctors, all as such. Definitely a big shout out to all of them. And just, encourage them as it's hard times because sometimes you do forget what's going on. So just, you can, of course, follow us on all social medias. Hopefully I'll get back on getting all that up and running and popping, especially now that we have new web links and things of that nature. So, Russ, I just want to leave you with, get moist. Just make sure you get that.
Stay moist.
Yes, stay moist.
Very moist.
Enjoy your banishment. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday and see you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Bye.